Hey everybody, welcome to this second episode. We've undergone a name change to avoid confusion with an existing show that I was not aware of. So our new name is Real Talk 210. I think the new name is more descriptive of what we do here anyways. So that's cool. If you're joining us for the first time, you might want to go back and start with the first episode because we're about to jump into the middle of that interview. Okay, this is going to be the second and final part of my interview with Jovette. So without further ado, thanks for joining us, and here we go. Okay, and we're back. Shortly before the break, you had mentioned your injury, but I don't think that we've gone into that on this podcast, so if you just want to talk about that for a minute.
Okay, pretty much it was my hips, pelvic, and back that got injured. I say it's because I'm short, carrying 75 pounds on my back, but my body just pretty much stopped. It shut down. I was on crutches for a while. They tried to rehabilitate me. I went and picked up with another company at the basic school in Quantico, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And even the second time around, my body was like, we're done. We're done. Thank you very much. That kind of thing.
Mm. So with the Marines, even if you have like an office or an administrative type of role, if you can't meet the PT requirements, like that's it.
And I think it was because of my transition, because I was transitioning from enlisted to officer.
Oh, so this actually occurred during that transition?
And in order for you to be an officer, you have to be able to complete the basic school, which is called TBS.
Right.
Well, at TBS, we had, at OCS especially, there was a 10-miler, 15-miler, the Crucible. So those are all heavy-duty stuff. And then at TBS, you have to do a 26-miler.
A marathon. You have to do a marathon with a backpack. Oh, no.
And it's no joke. They knew when I got injured, I should say. They're like, okay, yeah, that's not going. And they tried. They did try to rehabilitate me. My body was just like, no. It did not want to work. It was in pain, and it did not want to work.
That's frustrating.
It is. Hence why I went into depression for 18 months.
Right. So you've done the Marine. We've discussed your career as a teacher somewhat. What I don't think that we talked about what led you to become a teacher. You seem like a good fit for a teacher, but how did you make that decision?
It was God.
Yeah?
Because he was like, you should become a teacher. And my first response was, oh, hell no. I love my kids. I don't like other people's kids.
Right.
I don't want to do that. You don't understand. My kids are third-phase recruits. They've been trained since they were young. My mom says they've been brainwashed. But they have been. My kids never went through terrible twos. All three of them never went through terrible twos. Never.
Wow.
Yes. And then sleeping through the night? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were about 5 or 6 weeks. Sleeping through the night. All three of them.
What do you attribute that to?
Schedule?
Schedule.
Gotta put them on a schedule.
Oh.
And a good girlfriend of mine, she was in Okinawa with us. Mm-hmm. They were in the Air Force, and they were buddies with us. And she's like, don't. How did she put it? She put it very nice. She's very soft-spoken. Mm-hmm. I love her to death. And she's like, don't feel bad if you put a child on a schedule, because they are a part of your life. Your life doesn't revolve around them. That's how she put it. So literally, my first one was at 5 o'clock. So I would feed him before I went, because I was still in the Marine Corps at that time. I would feed him before I left to go PT. Mm-hmm. So it would be 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I would express at 10, because at this time I was back in the Marine Corps. Express at 10, then I would express at 2, then I would come home and feed him at 5, and then I would feed him at 10, and then he slept through the night. And it worked. There's nothing wrong with the schedule. But my daughter did not like that schedule. That was too much food for her. So I had to break down one for her. But it was always have to do before PT. I didn't know when you nurse that your milk goes sour.
What?
Yeah. So I fed him one time after PT, and he did not like the taste of that at all.
Oh.
He did not. So I learned to do it beforehand and then take it. It's funny. It's really, really fun. But a schedule. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I am not saying at all that all kids are the same.
Right, true.
I am not saying. There are some who need a little bit more extra help. But there's nothing wrong with the schedule. I mean, to me, it's like, never went through terrible twos, slept through the night, had a feeding schedule. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was my thing. It's like, okay, I know how I've but raised them to be. And third phase, we call them third phase recruits. They were trained to pretty much do, as they needed to do because they needed to do it.
So what do you mean by third phase recruit?
Oh, in boot camp, you have first phase, second phase, and third phase. So by the time you get to the third phase recruit, you get your eagle open anchor. You are officially ready to be a Marine, according to walk across the line. But that was the concept. So we were training them to be third phase recruits. So just barely able to earn the title of Marine.
Wow.
So when I went to teaching, I already, was watching other people, because my kids were in school and everything. I'm like, he's like, I think you'll be fine. You'll be good. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. That was one of my things. I always, taught my stuffed animals.
Really?
I had my own board. And then my mom was like, there's no money in teaching. I'm like, oh, okay. So I shouldn't be a teacher. So I already had that notion too.
Right.
But, like I said, it's been great seeing the kids. The first class I taught would be juniors in college.
Right now.
So when, of course, they come up to me and they're like, I know you. And I'm just looking at them like, hey, your features have changed.
Right.
But like my face has been the same since I was 2 years old. My face didn't change. So when I see all these kids, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember you. And they'll tell me their name. I'm like, yeah, nope, still don't remember you. Unless they have some distinct features that I can tell.
Right.
But I do. I love it now. I didn't know I loved it.
Teaching?
Yes.
So...
Because I get to send the kids back to their own house.
Oh, I see. So when did you discover that you enjoyed teaching? How long were you a teacher before you realized, like, oh, I love this?
Probably the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. The first I realized, okay, this isn't that bad. Because the good thing about it is that they were always afraid of me.
Oh.
And then I had another teacher. He was a music teacher. Mm-hmm. He would feed them like, oh, she used to be a drill instructor. So that made it worse. And I wasn't a drill instructor. So, like, we heard you were a drill instructor. I'm like, who would have told you that? No, I'm not drill. But they still were, because it was just like, we can have fun, but when we're done, we're done.
Right.
Get your stuff together. We need to get going. This is that. And they're like, okay. So they knew. I even taught them hand signals. When they were out of recess, they'll blow the whistle. I'll do my hand signal like this. And that means double time on me. And they would come running. Oh. Only my kids.
That's amazing. So is that a Marine thing?
Yes.
That little hand signal?
I'm sure all the military branches. But yeah, it's a Marine thing.
Now, all right, so I want to challenge you on that point too, though. You said on one hand, or in one sense, that like you always wanted to be a teacher and that you used to teach your stuffed animals. But then you said when you became a teacher, it probably wasn't, it was at some point into your first year before you decided, like, oh, I love this. Mm-hmm. And so what happened there?
I think it was just more to make a difference. Because I had to make it my own. Mm. Yes, they have what you cannot do and all that other stuff, but I had to make it my own. Like, right now I teach social studies. Mm-hmm. So I can't stand social studies.
Really?
When I was younger, I couldn't stand it. And then I met a teacher who taught it well. Mm-hmm. And then I love social studies. He made it I was in college. He made it so interesting. I'm like, wow. So when I taught math before, I've taught science and everything to put me in social studies. And I'm like, I got to make this interesting. I got to make it fun. I had to make it fun. And when I made it fun, social studies. Math I can make fun for, it's numbers,
Right.
2 + 2 will always be 4.
Right.
That kind of thing. But I still made it a little bit fun. But it was social studies that made me do the Make a Difference Monday because, I'm able to incorporate that into it, and that's where I think it bloomed from there. I had the foundation for everything else, but the blooming came in social studies.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think the last piece that I think we should definitely talk about is your professional coach and a personal trainer. Oh,
I am technically a health and fitness coach.
A health and fitness coach.
Correct. But I consider myself a life coach simply because I'm part of the CEO of Team Turtle.
Team Turtle.
Team Turtle. I am the leader of sloths, snails, and turtles.
All right.
Because slow and steady will win the race. I say I'm picking up the rear. Because information, right? when you're running, people take off, but there's the stragglers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to circle around and pick them up. You're picking up the rear.
Right.
So now I was always used to being up front. And now that I'm injured, I'm part of the rear. So I'm like, all right, I'll do my own little team back here. Right. And that's where I got Team Turtle from.
And also No Man Left Behind.
Exactly. So everyone that thinks they can't won't, because they think they can't. Right. But I'm there to tell them, oh yeah, we can do this. Because besides my injury from my back, hips, and pelvic, I have other stuff that's going on because of that. But I had gotten diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2005.
Wow.
Yes. And that was something different on top of that. So I'm just like, yeah, no. So I figured out, if I'm going to be hurting by doing nothing, then I might as well be hurting by doing something. Right. And that's when I started my health and fitness journey. So it's just like when people tell me, oh, I can't, I'm like, yeah, no. I don't want to hear it. Let's go. We got this. Even if you have to crawl, you're going to crawl.
So do you still experience pain from the fibromyalgia?
I don't know if I can say name brands, but Lyrica worked perfect for me. But the VA at that time didn't have it. Oh. So I had to pay out of pocket. So I figured that's when our budget, we're big Dave Ramsey people too. So
that's right.
Our budget was just like, okay, how do I pay for this? So after about the second month or so, I'm like, because I figured out, and this is just my personal opinion, why most veterans, not most, I shouldn't say most, but why a good chunk of veterans are committing suicide. It's the meds. It's the meds. All these meds that they're giving and they're putting in your body, and they have this side effect and that side effect and that, that's too much. It's just too much. And I don't think it does good for the brain,
right.
Essence. So that's why I was like, yeah, no, if I'm going to pay $42, at that time it was $42 a month for meds that will probably eventually, that was on a whole bunch of other meds too. That was just the tip of it. And I'm just like, why not just pay someone to get me better? So I went to go see my doctor. In fact, he's right here in San Antonio, Dr. Capola, and his wife is Dr. Montero. They're holistic doctors. And he was the one that helps me out. He minimizes everything. And moving is the key. I kid you not. If you are in pain, move. You're going to be in pain when you're not doing anything, so you might as well be in lesser pain by doing something. Right. That's the point.
Take your mind off it also.
Exactly. You might as well sweat and have a sweat party. And then you can have a sweat party as a turtle too. So it's no biggie.
So do you give me the term again? Personal training, personal coach?
Health and fitness coach. Yes.
Health and fitness coach. Do you do that at your client's home? Do you do that at a specific gym? Where do you operate?
I'm on social media. Okay. Under Full of Life. And they will sign up under me. And at that point, I put them in a Facebook group and I hold them accountable. In fact, I had asked one friend, and I was like, hey, you want to join my Team Turtle? My accountability group, on Facebook. He was like, no. He goes, but then you're going to hold me accountable.
That's the point.
He was one of our drivers. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, wait, who?
Mike, a long time ago. It was Mike.
Was it the Mike that got hired the same day that I got hired?
I know. I think you got hired when I was on vacation. But it was one of the, we have lots of drivers. But that was the concept that people are afraid of being held accountable. So my theory, my logo, because I say I'm the president of the Happy Club, president of the Fitness Club, and president of the Breaking the Chains Club. And I am on a mission to help and teach others to live a happy, healthy, debt-free life. And all those presidencies didn't come at one time. They came in bits and pieces every couple of years. And I'm just like, okay, I see what's going on here. So it's about, everyone can do that. Everyone can be happy. Everyone can be healthy. Everyone can be different. It just takes discipline and someone to be accountable for it. Nobody wants to be accountable to anybody. It's like, no, don't be up in my business. Well, I'm going to be up in your business because I'm your coach. That kind of thing.
Right. Well, that sounds positive, but I shouldn't be surprised coming from Jovette over here.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. I think I'm going to take another break here. Okay. We're going to stop it. We're going to pick it back up in a minute. And I forgot that I did want to talk to you about your appearance on Dave Ramsey and that whole thing, because that was kind of a big deal.
Yes. So, that's not a problem.
All right. We'll bring it back here in a second. Bye-bye. All right. Welcome back. So, Jovette, I think we're going to wrap it up here soon, but I definitely did not want to forget about your appearance on the Dave Ramsey show. I know you're a huge fan of his.
Yes.
And just explain to our audience what happened there.
Well, the journey started in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I were sitting in church, and they were doing that little advertisement that they do. And I looked, and he does like a little spiel, like a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, I told my husband, like, we need to do that. And he says, we can't afford to do that. I'm like, we can't afford not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, same thing with the budget. So I had been doing the budget for my back and seeing Dr. Capola. I'm like, you just have to add it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, so 2010, actually, he wasn't my husband then. Yeah, David was my fiance. So January up until April is when we did it. And then we got married in May. That's of 2010. That's when we went through it. So we made up our mind, like, okay, try to put dates and you know me. I gotta have my goals.
Right.
And then about 2012, I'm like, something's not right. I must be doing something wrong. And my husband was just like, you think so? I'm like, something's not right. I'm not sure what it is. So Dave was in town in San Antonio.
Oh.
And so I went to his conference and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, he said, he didn't tell me, but he was telling me.
No, he was speaking to you, Jovette.
And what it was, the emergency fund was there for an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. We would build up our emergency fund, and it would get depleted. And I'm like, what on earth? Why can't we keep an emergency fund? We'll build it up and then pay off some debt and then get depleted. Then he explained that it's the cushion.
Mm-hmm.
It's there for a cushion. Then 2013, we started teaching it.
Dave Ramsey's program.
Yes.
To other people.
Correct. And it was at that point, because of 2012, it was like the end of 2012, I'm like, okay, we've got to take this to the next level. Because I'm a natural teacher.
Right.
So 2012, it was when the change came. And then 2013 is when we started teaching it. And as soon as we started teaching it, both cars got totaled.
Wow.
It was a test. Both cars got totaled. One car got totaled, and like a month and a half later, the second car got totaled. Talking about, it was like, what? And that's when, this is what I try to explain to people.
Mm-hmm.
The minute that you decide to live a happy, healthy, debt-free life, all hell will break loose. So you just have to expect it. Because people think, oh, I'm trying to get debt-free. It's going to be easy. I'm trying to be healthy. It's going to be easy. No. You can expect a target on your back because you're trying to move forward. Stagnant water stinks. Mm-hmm. So if you remain in that stagnant water, you're going to smell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting out of that. And that's what's challenging. But once you get out of it, it's like, okay, all right, I'm out. And then you start to progress. Now, you may trip and fall and have obstacles, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. That's what people don't understand. So they think, oh, I fell. I have fallen and I can't get up. That kind of thing. Get up. Just get up. Enough is enough. Stop wallowing.
So how did you wind up on Dave Ramsey's show? You rose to some challenge that he issued or something?
Well, he does his baby steps. Mm-hmm. And baby step 1 is the $1,000. Baby step 2 is getting out of debt. And you put your debt in smallest to largest. Mm-hmm. And then baby step 3 is 3 to 6 months. Baby step 4 is any kind of retirement plan. 5 is for college fund, but for empty nesters. And then 6 is you pay off your house early. And then 7 is you build wealth and you give it away. Meaning that you contribute to other people.
Right.
You know? And so all we had to do to get on the show was to get out of baby step 2.
Oh.
So we still have the house. So what you do, you get your 1, you finish off your 2, and I think we paid up like it was almost close to $72,000. On the show, it shows $70,000. But it was a rough batch.
Wow.
So my goal was to do it by 15. Mm-hmm. But I like to travel.
Right.
So that was an issue. And then I went to Okinawa.
Oh, how wonderful.
And you're not supposed to do all that.
No.
But these are things like when my oldest son graduated, we had to go to California to see his graduation, of course. Mm-hmm. And then when my daughter graduated, we had to go to Paris Island to go to her graduation. So these are things I wasn't going to miss, obviously.
Right.
But that was a little ups and downs right there. But we paid cash for everything. Went on cruises with the kids because they were leaving.
That's great, though. You have to live your life.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's got to be some kind of balance between being fiscally responsible and not neglecting your life.
Yes. And that was the issue. So I felt fine doing that because there was no way I was going to miss any of those things, those events. So we ended up doing it on August 19th of 2016, unofficially, in our living room. Mm-hmm. My mom was there, my niece was there, and so we went live for that.
And so that was the completion of your goal number 2.
Correct.
Which was, remind me again?
Paying off all your debt from smallest to largest. So we had no more
You had
debt.
zero debt.
Zero debt.
Other than a house, right?
Other than a house. And then we applied to go, and Kelly will call you if you get chosen or not. And I thought we didn't get chosen. It was like, no big deal. We did it. We were debt free regardless.
Right.
And then we went in February of 2017 to go to Tennessee.
I remember that.
Yes. And that was fun. That was really, really fun. I love seeing Dave, of course.
That's awesome.
But all his personalities can help everyone and anyone. Like Chris Hogan does Retired Inspired. So he's all about retirement because no one really thinks about retirement. You know what I mean? And if they think the government and their Social Security plan is going to support them, they are sadly mistaken.
Right.
It was never intended for that. It was only intended as a supplemental income. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's all it was, and people took it to the next level, and then like his daughter Rachel Cruz, she has Love Your Life Not Theirs, and it's all of them. They all have something good to say. People that have college age students, 5 survival guides to college, how to go to college for debt free. Because, student loan crisis is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So stuff like that. If anybody, if your listeners just look into one thing, and whether you believe it wholeheartedly, just read it. And then you can see, like, okay, it kind of does make sense, but you're focusing on one step at a time. Because if you're trying to do too many things at one time, nothing gets done.
I run into that a lot.
You and me both. You and me both. But it was a great experience. So I told my husband, like, when we pay off the house, we got to go back. And he's like, or not. He's like, I don't want to go on vacation in Tennessee. I want to be in the sand and the ocean. I'm like, come on, baby. He's like, fine.
You should, man. So you definitely had a fun time on the radio show. Your husband, like, maybe not as much?
He is an introvert, but he did speak some. You can tell he didn't speak as much as I did.
Right? Surprise.
But he is definitely the introvert. But he did good. I am always shocked when he gets to talking, because we do like our connect groups at church. So when he's helping leading, and I'm like, he's talking up a storm. Check him out. So I try to congratulate him when he does stuff like that.
Absolutely.
He's a sweetheart.
All right, Jovette. Well, listen, thanks. I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Yes, sir.
But I want to thank you very much for being the first guest on the first episode of Apartment 210.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for stopping
much for
by.
having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You've been an amazing guest. You did not disappoint. You had plenty to say, which I expected that you would. Plenty to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to your website.
Okay.
For your health and fitness coaching.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. And if you want to send me the link for the Dave Ramsey appearance.
Oh, okay.
I could post that too.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
I can look for that one. I'm sure I have it in my computer. I think the biggest thing what people need to understand too is that life is short and then you die. But you still have to live it to the fullest.
That's right. Live it up while you're here. This has been the second episode of Real Talk 210. I hope to have another episode ready for you in about a week. If you enjoyed the show, please click like or subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for tuning in.